The courtroom was packed. Every seat was filled, and the air hummed with whispers and expectation. Marcus Hill sat at the defendant's table, his hands folded, his face pale but calm. He looked at no one, just the judge, the lawyers, and a single spot on the polished wooden floor. Everyone seemed certain of his guilt. The newspapers called him the garage bandit, the bailiff, the jurors, even the people in the back rows. Each glance said the same thing. Marcus did it. Only Marcus seemed sure that he was innocent. The judge banged her gavel. Silence swept the room. The trial began, and all eyes turned to Marcus. He took a deep, steady breath, holding on to the one thing no one else believed: his truth. The journey ahead would test him to his very core. The first words were spoken, and the machinery of justice started to grind. The prosecution wasted no time. The district attorney stood, voice steady, eyes cold. "Marcus Hill, you stand accused of armed robbery. The evidence is overwhelming," he declared. The crowd leaned in, hungry for drama. Photos appeared, grainy images of a masked figure in a gas station, the outline of a pistol, the clerk's terrified face. The prosecutor waved the exhibits in the air. He called Marcus a desperate man, cornered by bills and bad luck. Next came the police. Two officers, seasoned and straight-backed, recounted their discovery of Marcus's wallet near the scene. They described his car, how it was parked outside the station, engine still warm, snow undisturbed on the roof. Their voices never wavered. Marcus's lawyer, Amber Lynn, took notes, brow furrowed. She watched the jury, saw their faces tightening with every detail. It looked hopeless. Each piece of evidence seemed to fit, as if the case was locked in tight. And yet, under the surface, a quiet uncertainty began to stir. The officers returned to the stand. Their uniforms were crisp, badges gleaming beneath the bright lights. Their words were measured, confident. "We arrived at the gas station just after the robbery," Officer Bates testified. "We saw Marcus's car, a blue Honda, parked beside the curb. The snow on the roof was untouched." Officer Kelly nodded, adding, "We found Marcus's wallet near the dumpster. Inside was his driver's license, a receipt from earlier that night. He matched the suspect's description. There's no doubt in my mind, he was there." Amber's cross-examination was calm. She asked about the snow, about the car, about the movements of the officers. But their answers stayed the same, crisp and rehearsed. No one touched the car. "We saw the imprint of fresh footsteps, leading from the vehicle to the store." The jury scribbled notes. Some shook their heads, convinced by the certainty of the police. Marcus tried to catch Amber's eye, but she was lost in thought. The evidence was heavy, and the truth seemed buried beneath it. The pressure grew. Marcus's hope flickered, but did not go out. Amber Lynn had a reputation for seeing what others missed. She watched the officers closely, listening carefully. Their words were perfect, almost too perfect. She replayed their story in her mind, looking for cracks, searching for anything that didn't quite fit. Late that night, Amber pored over the evidence, her focus unwavering. She studied the photographs again and again. Something just felt off. She remembered the snowstorm that blanketed the city that night. Thick, wet flakes, the kind that stuck to everything. But Marcus's car, the one police claimed was parked since before the robbery, had no snow disturbed on the hood. Amber called Marcus's mother. "Did Marcus leave the house that night?" she asked. "He was home with me, shoveling the driveway," Mrs. Hill replied. "He left after 9, once the snow had stopped." Amber checked the timeline. The robbery was reported at 9:45 p.m. The police claimed the car had been there for an hour, untouched by snow. But the city's cameras told a different story. Surveillance footage from a nearby street showed Marcus's car arriving after the snow had already stopped falling. Amber circled the timestamp in red. The first seed of doubt had been planted. Amber approached the bench the next day, her voice steady. "Your Honor, I'd like to introduce new evidence," she said. She displayed a photograph, one taken by a city traffic camera just after the robbery. The image showed Marcus's car pulling to the curb. Snowflakes still clung to the hood and windshield undisturbed. The courtroom fell silent. The prosecutor tried to object, but the judge waved him down. "Explain this, Officer Bates," she demanded. He shifted in his seat, glancing at his partner. "We must have mistaken the timing," he stammered. Amber pressed harder. "If Marcus's car arrived after the snow stopped, as this photo shows, how could you be so certain it was there during the robbery?" The jury's eyes widened. For the first time, their certainty cracked. The crowd began to murmur, a low wave of uncertainty sweeping through the room. Marcus felt a small surge of hope. Amber's focus never wavered. She knew she was on the right trail. The truth had started to slip through the cracks. Amber was not finished. She held up a small slip of paper. "This is a parking receipt from a garage 2 blocks away," she said. "Time-stamped at 9:37 p.m. The exact time the officers claimed Marcus was already at the gas station." She passed the receipt to the judge. The prosecutor stammered, "Objection, irrelevant." But the judge leaned forward. "This is crucial," she said. "Explain this, Officer Kelly." Kelly looked pale now. He glanced at Bates, then at the floor. "We may have made a mistake with the timeline," he said quietly. Amber's voice sharpened. "Or were you so eager to solve the case, you didn't care whose life you destroyed?" The jurors exchanged glances. Several shook their heads, no longer convinced. Amber laid the evidence before them. The snowy photo, the receipt, Marcus's alibi. Each piece fit together, forming a new picture, one of innocence, not guilt. The weight of the lie became impossible to ignore. The judge called for silence. "Officers, your stories do not match the evidence. You will answer for this," she said firmly. The officers' faces fell. They had been exposed by 2 simple details: a snowy photograph and a time-stamped receipt. Marcus sat still, hands trembling. Amber squeezed his shoulder, her eyes shining with relief. The crowd erupted, some in anger, some in tears. Justice, for once, had not failed. As the courtroom emptied, Marcus stood quietly in the hallway. Reporters shouted questions, cameras flashed. He spoke softly. "The truth waits. Even if you're the only one who believes it, don't let go. Lies need a crowd, but the truth needs only one detail." In the end, it was not strength or cleverness that set Marcus free, but patience, and a single undeniable truth. Lies can be loud, but the truth speaks forever. And sometimes, all it takes is one tiny detail to bring the whole story to light. What's something people don't know about stories? They never truly end. There's always a new adventure waiting for you. Just pick your next tale and I'll meet you there. Subscribe to the Story Circle and let me know which story I should tell next in the comments.